Mark Pope will face his mentor, Rick Pitino, in Kentucky's big matchup against St. John's, and Kentucky finally catches a break with their star player, Jayden Quaintance, returning. We're going to break it all down here in episode 105 of the Big Blue Breakdown.
Bet you didn't know there's a place where Kentucky football and basketball fans unite. Welcome to Big Blue Breakdown. Whether you bleed blue or just love a good game, we've got the latest stories, hottest takes, and a whole lot of hometown pride. Hit play and join the conversation. This is your home for all things Kentucky sports.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into the Big Blue Breakdown, episode 105 here on the podcast. I appreciate you guys tuning in here and listening to this one. I'm excited to be breaking down this awesome matchup between Kentucky and St. John's, and in a matchup where Mark Pope, his mentor, he is facing Rick Pitino, his coach as well, in where he won a championship at St. John's. I am really excited to dive into this here. We're going to briefly talk about the history between Mark Pope and Rick Pitino and what comes with that and everything. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and give a quick word over to our friends at W. Once we get back, we're going to simply go into the history of Pitino and Pope and talk about the really how big is that going into this game. And then we're going to break down St. John's, help you guys understand this team a little bit more and what they are all about, what they do good, what they do bad. Then we're going to talk about, then we're going to take another break, and then we're going to talk about key matchups, and then I'm going to give you 4 keys to a victory, and then why having Jayden Quaintance, even in this game, is going to be huge for Kentucky, and then obviously moving forward, and then I'll finally give my prediction and my MVP. So before we do all that, let's go ahead and give a quick word over to our friends at W. Make sure to use code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off your order every time you use it, and we'll be right back here at episode 105 of the Big Blue Breakdown. Hello everybody, we wanted to take a break in this episode to tell you about our friends over at W Energy. W is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like any other energy drink. Some facts about W. Number 1, it's zero sugar, artificial colors, or dyes, or hidden ingredients. It is also gluten-free. Number 2, all flavors are unique and custom made by W. You'll never taste anything like a W drink. Number 3, the drinks are $1 less, guys. That is cheaper than Starbucks or any canned drink. Lastly, it is made in the U.S. It is close to home. Guys, if you guys are looking forward to going to a Kentucky football game or Kentucky basketball game and you need some energy, get W. W is the perfect thing for you working out and you need some energy. You need W. You need W throughout the day. It is for you. Use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off every single order. Guys, it not only just helps you guys be able to have a clean energy drink that you can use all the time with the tubs that they give you. It helps me and it helps the channel keep growing. And with you guys, if you guys do that, it helps us post more content and helps them, guys. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. But thank you guys so much for your time here. Please go check out W. Check out their website, and when you are about to purchase something, use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off your order. Alrighty, guys, welcome back into episode 105 here on the Big Blue Breakdown. So let's briefly talk about the relationship of Mark Pope and Rick Pitino. So Mark Pope won a national championship under Rick Pitino in 1996. For this team, he was a team cap under Pitino, and they have a very strong relationship. Mark Pope talked about this on John Rothstein's podcast about how much of a mentor Rick Pitino was to him, and just how he was heavily involved in his life with his family and everything like that. So I think it's a very, very interesting aspect, and obviously adds a little bit more heat to this game, and in a lot of funny ways, in how apparently the last time Pope talked to Pitino was after the Michigan State game. Pitino actually called him and said, "Get your stuff together," and and that was the last time he talked to him. Before going into the season, we thought this was going to be a top 10 matchup heading into this game. Obviously, that is not the case, with both teams having a disappointing start to the season, but still very, very big in the storylines coming into this one, and both teams playing solid right now, heading into a big-time matchup for both of these teams. So in that way, it is still fun, but these two have a tremendous relationship. Obviously, like I said, Mark Pope played under Pitino in 1996 and won a national championship. I am really, really excited to see how these two play out against each other. Obviously, they talk very highly and fondly of each other. And Pope has talked to or said on, I think it was before the season, in interviews, that he is bringing the heat for his suit, and Pitino better be ready for that. I don't know if Kentucky will wear the denims in this one. It'd be pretty cool if they did. And then also, let's see if Pitino pulls out the white suit. But enough talk about that. This game is going to be played at State Farm Arena. This is the CBS Sports Classic. St. John's takes the place of oh my gosh, is it UCLA? Yeah, it's UCLA. St. John's takes the place of UCLA. The other game being played is Ohio State, and I am blanking on these teams right now. Is it North Carolina? I think it is. I could be like really wrong on that, but I think it is. Yeah. It's North Carolina and Ohio State. So looking at this now, you see St. John's takes the place of this, and now this is a big-time matchup. Obviously, a lot of history between the two. 12:30, Bruce Pearl will be on his first ever call like this. I think that is very, very interesting heading into this one. So a lot of big expectations here, and this is in, like I said, State Farm Arena in Atlanta. So Catlanta, as I like to call it. So there, honestly, a big impact on this is going to be the Kentucky fans, and where it's probably going to be, I would say 80 to 85% Kentucky fans in this one, specifically for this game, obviously. So that can be a very, very big thing. It's almost be like a home game for the Cats. So let's get into the nitty gritty of this episode. So Bart Torvik says this is has St. John's at minus 3.1 for this game. Has them favored by 3 points, basically. He gives a final score of 79 to 76 and gives Kentucky about a 40% chance to win this basketball game. So what is the severity for this game? Well, both teams majorly need this win, because this is a quad one opportunity for both teams, and would be very, very big before going into conference play, because this is both teams' last major opponent before going into their respective conference plays, with St. John's playing in the Big East and obviously Kentucky playing in the SEC. So two very, very big opportunities here, where both teams haven't been great playing against quality opponents so far. St. John's maybe a little bit more, with a couple solid wins, and Kentucky obviously with their lone win, making them 1-4 against major competition with their win against Indiana Saturday. So let's go ahead and jump into this St. John's team. St. John is, and the Johnnies, what do you call them? Johnnies, Red Storm, whatever you want to call them. 7-3. Their best win is over Baylor, who ranks 32nd right now in KenPom. So you want to kind of compare that to Indiana here. Let's have a little fun with this. Let's compare this to Indiana, who ranks 26 on KenPom. So their best win is 32nd. Our best win is 26. So take that as you will. They've played a little bit of better competition and got a win. We'll get into that in just a second. Best win is over Baylor, who ranks 32nd in KenPom. They have won 3 straight games. Ole Miss, Iona, and DePaul. Their best win is Ole Miss here, and Ole Miss is not that good. They haven't been good this season, at least up to this point, and I don't see it getting much better in SEC play, where they rank 52nd on KenPom. So their resume is almost just like ours, maybe with some more quad 2, quad 3 wins, where Kentucky just has one quad 1 win, and then like all the rest of their games are quad 4 wins. So they have theirs a little bit more separated, but still, both of these teams desperately need a win in this game heading into conference play to help their resumes and to help their confidence moving forward, because they have had a slow start to the season with major expectations going into the year for both of them. So to break this down, this team even more, looking at KenPom here, as we always do. KenPom, only one. They are separated by one spot. Kentucky ranks 19th, and St. John's ranks 18th. As they sit here with the 23rd adjusted rated offense and the 15th adjusted rated defense, and they have the 45th adjusted tempo. So this team will want to get up and down the floor, even being a physical team as they are, a Rick Pitino style team. They still want to get it going up and down the floor, and we're going to talk about how they've been very, very good at that in a little bit. So, solid offense, really good defense, and play at a really fast pace. So what does this team do well? As I just mentioned that here, transition offense. I mean, it is elite. They rank 5th in the country, and they average 20 points in transition a game. Looking at this on the offense side of the ball, staying here, they have a really good 2-point offense where they get most of their points. They have a pretty good field goal percentage, shooting about 48% on the year, and they are shooting above average at 35% from 3-point line. So that is actually a really good number for a Rick Pitino team, and that is because they will be a good 2-point offense. They will be physical and get offensive rebounds and score like that. When you add in the factor that they can, on an average basis, knock down the 3-point shot, that is very, very big for this team as they sit with 35%. They have a lot of spread out scoring. Their leading scorer only is averaging 14 points. Former Kentucky player, by the way. We're going to get into that. That's what they really do on offense. Their offense, a lot of it comes from that transition offense where they grab boards, they swing it out, and they get going on the floor, and they want to score a lot of their points that way. Now, they want to get the ball inside. They have Ejiofor, who's really, really good. They have Bryce Hopkins. We're going to specifically get into those guys, but excuse me. This is a team that wants to get the ball, get a paint touch, go from there, try to get their points inside, and if they can't do that, try to get offensive rebounds. So that's where they live, and sometimes that's where they die, but they have a very, very solid 3-point shooting, especially this year. On the defensive end, this is where they are dangerous. They have elite rim protection. They average about 5.7 blocks a game, and man, do they have great size and physicality. It's a Pitino team. This is a Pitino team. They rank 15th in adjusted rated defense. This team is legit defensive team, and when you're led by Rick Pitino, I guess that can go along with it as well. They are limiting teams to 30% from 3, so they've been very, very good at limiting just really limiting offense, truly, where they are limiting the 3-point shot, and they're limiting their really, really good 2-point defense. Now, looking at this here, they will go 10 deep in their rotation. I think they're 10 deep in their rotation. Let me say it like this. I think they're 10 deep in their rotation. I do think they are 8 strong. We're going to specifically get in those guys in just a little bit. But this team, really, really physical, really, really big. They want their offense is get out in transition and play inside out and get offensive rebounds. and their defense is really, really good 2-point defense and limiting your opportunities from three, where they have teams shooting 30% from three. This team, again, 5.7 blocks a game, elite rim protection, and so that might contrast with the style that Kentucky's trying to play, where they're trying to get into this kind of hard-nosed basketball, playing inside and getting those offensive rebounds, where that is going to completely contrast against St. John's, and where they're going to want to do basically the same thing, but they're going to simply want to stop you in that way. And can they out-physical you in this game? 1,000%. And that's why Kentucky has to be able to make three-point shots in this game. That's where we're going to get into our keys later. What does this team not do well? Well, they turn the ball over a lot. They're averaging about 13.1 turnovers a game. In a very, very weird stat here. Very weird. Because they are a good offensive rebounding team, but they are a terrible defensive rebounding team. So, yes, they have been really, really good in transition, but I don't think this team has faced a team in Kentucky that can get their own miss and be elite in that way. They rank 296 nationally in defensive rebounds. That is not good. And that's where they want to live, is getting those rebounds and pushing in transition. So Kentucky has to be able to really sit on that and get offensive rebounds, and that right there will limit their 20 points a game in transition and might limit their offense a lot. And then they don't have a quote-unquote true point guard, so nobody's really stepped up and played that point guard role. And could that be a big factor coming into this one when you have a guy like Jalen Lowe at the top of the key on defense and on offense? So no point guard. So they're high turnover team, terrible defensive rebounding team, and no point guard, I have in quotations with two question marks at the end. So let's go ahead and look at this team's most impactful players. Specifically, looking at Bart Torvik's St. John's player stats here and the numbers. So we're going to look at 8 players here, okay? We're going to look at 8 players here. First, let's look at what Bart Torvik is saying their most impactful player, and that is Dylan Mitchell. He's averaging about 60% of the minutes, and is their main. Technically, the statistics are saying they're their main guy. So Dylan Mitchell for this team right now is averaging 9.8 points a game. Trying to get back to it here. 9.8 points a game. So basically 10 points a game, 6.4 rebounds, 2.5 assists. He is shooting about 64% from the field, and he's averaging about 1.1 blocks per game, and he's leading the team in steals. So this definitely has been one of their most impactful players, and statistically he has, and especially according to Bart Torvik. He is a senior. He is 6'8". He's got good size to him. And then you move on to preseason Big East Player of the Year in Zuby Ejiofor. This guy is huge. I believe he stands around 6'9", plays that power forward center position. He's averaging 13.9 points a game, about 14 points a game, where he's grabbing 7.2 rebounds a game, almost 3 assists a game, where he leads them in assists, and he has 2.8 blocks per game. Almost 3 blocks per game. Really, this is where most of their rim protection comes from. Really good rim protection from Zuby Ejiofor. This is a physical specimen inside the paint, can push you around. That's the type of player he is. Want to mention something here. Do not leave this guy alone at the top of the key. I went back and I watched not Kentucky, St. John's versus Alabama earlier in this year, where they lost to Alabama. They also had a loss to Arizona State, who has been very, very good this year. Excuse me. Do not leave him at the top of the key alone, because he will knock down that 2-point shot there. Really, really good. He is averaging about 54% field goal percentage, and just been very, very solid. Again, elite rim protector. This guy is a lead around the rim on offense and on defense. Then we move on to Bryce Hopkins, leading scorer for the Johnnies, previous Kentucky player. He played his freshman year at Kentucky in 2022 and then went to Providence for a couple of years. Now with Rick Pitino and the Johnnies having his best season yet. Excuse me for a drink of water. Okay. He is their leading scorer, averaging 14 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 2.4 assists. He is averaging 1.1 steals a game, and he's shooting at a solid clip from beyond the arc with 33.3% from three and shooting around 50% from the field. Very, very good from Bryce Hopkins, the 6'7" senior. We move on to Isaiah Sellers, who has been very, very good for this team. Isaiah Sellers is averaging 11.4 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and where he is shooting 43.5% from three. This is by far their best three-point shooter, I guess you could say, along with Jaxson Thurmond, who's averaging 10 points per game. But they have two elite three-point shooters, guys. Elite three-point shooters. I would say three. I would say, I would say two elite three-point shooters in Isaiah Sellers shooting almost 44%, and then Jaxson Thurmond averaging 43.2%. These guys can really, really knock down the three-point shot, and Bryce Hopkins can as well. Then you move on to Ian Jackson, the North Carolina transfer. Very, very big portal get for the Johnnies and Ray Pitino. But he's had a very up and down season so far for the Red Storm. Looking at his numbers here, he is averaging 11.5 points per game, about 3 rebounds, about 2 assists. And where he has been solid from the three-point line, but an up-and-down game for him so far this year, 34.1% from three. So they have guys that can knock down the three-point shot consistently, two that are really, really good at it. And that's another dribble drive guy right there. But as you can see, no true point guard for this team, at least not one that has really stepped up yet. Is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we got through 5 guys. We got 3 more. We got 3 more to go through that are really, really major contributors, and I really wanted to get this in because they do have a deep rotation, and I wanted to get the 8 guys that I believe are the most impactful, or at least Mark Torvik is saying so. Ruben Prey, the 6'10 sophomore, he's not getting a lot of minutes, but he has been very, very good on the floor. He's only averaging 10.4 minutes per game, 4.7 points, but he's shooting 55.6% from three. Highest three-point shooter on the team. A guy that will play a little bit, but just a guy to look at there. Jaxson Thurmond, we were just talking about this guy. He is getting a lot of minutes, and this guy is deadly from three-point land along with Sellers. Jaxson Thurmond is averaging 10.6 points a game, 3.8 rebounds, and 43.2% from three. Another really good three-point shooter there in Jaxson Thurmond, the 6'5" sophomore. And then we move on to our 4, 5. Yep, our last player in Dylan Darling, who really has been that point guard, I guess. He has kind of filled that position along with Ian Jackson along the way, but they're saying no true point guard for this team. And so far, he is averaging about 5.7 points per game. He is averaging around 20 minutes a game still. But Ian Jackson has really been leading the way for the point guard position, I guess, quote unquote. So that is really, but he really is more an off-ball guard. that kind of thrives in that way in that position. So I guess again that's one thing to look out here for this team. So let's take a quick break here in this episode 105. Tell you about our friends over at Bluegrass Elite, and then we will come back. I'll give you the keys for this game, key matchups, my prediction, and my MVP. We'll be right back here on episode 105 of the Big Blue Breakdown. Hello, everybody. We wanted to take a break in this episode to tell you about our friends over at W Energy. W is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like any other energy drink. Some facts about W. Number one, it's zero sugar, artificial colors, or dyes, or hidden ingredients. It is also gluten-free. Number two, all flavors are... All right, real quick before we keep going, I've got to tell you about our new partners over at Bluegrass Elite. They've got some really nice Kentucky gear, clean designs, stuff that actually looks good on game days. I've been checking out some of their shirts and hoodies myself, and the cool thing is, they're hooking y'all up with 15% off every single time you order. Just use my code BBB15 at checkout. So if you want to rep the Cats and save a little money while doing it, hit that link down in the description of this video. Guys, go check them out. Really, really good gear over there. Make sure to use my promo code BBB15 to get 15% off your order every time you use it. Let's go back to the episode. I'm so sorry. I clicked the wrong promo video there. I'm so sorry. But welcome back in here to episode 105 here as we get into our final segment of this episode. Excuse me for my terrible cough here. I am so sorry. But broke down the Johnnies. Physical, inside team that can knock down the three, likes to get up and down the floor. High turnover team. Not a good defensive rebounding team, but an elite 2-point defense and just defense overall. So, key matchups for this game. Front court versus front court. I mean, Jayden, I don't think he's going to be getting a crap ton of minutes in this one. So, BG or Malachi is going to have to step up and guard Ejiofor consistently. I'm not saying Jayden is not going to be able to, but he's going to be on a time limit, and he's going to be on time limits, limit restrictions, whatever you want to call it there. And with that, you have to have Malachi or BG step up in this one and play a good game. It doesn't matter which one. It doesn't. You play them a couple minutes, you see who's playing better, you hit that hard, you consistently put them out there and have that guy roll out there. And then Jayden come in and be a big factor on this guy, give that other guy a break. But BG or Malachi, one or the other is going to have to step up and have a big game in this one and protect the rim against Ejiofor, who is elite so far this year. Okay. And then you go on to who takes on Ortega? Ian Jackson? Sellers? Whoever it is, I think it's a mismatch for whoever that is. I think Ortega has a mismatch. I think he has to be able to take advantage of that, and that's a guy that can get downhill and go get his own and cause foul trouble, as he did against Lamar Wilkerson. I really, really like that. He is a matchup problem that can get guys into foul trouble. Those are really the key matchups, front court versus front court. Whoever's going to be on Bryce Hopkins. I would say Cam Williams. I really, really like Cam Williams on Bryce Hopkins. I believe that is a legit good matchup for Kentucky, and I would feel really, really good about that. I would even possibly throw Yelovich onto him sometimes and Modi Abate. I really, really like our defensive lineups versus their offensive weapons. So, 4 keys to get a win in this one. Kentucky has to hit 6 threes in this game. They have to get second chance opportunities. They have to get defensive rebounds and limit runouts / transition points. That's what Kentucky has to do in this game. Very, very simple. Do I think Kentucky can bang and play physical against this St. John's team? Yes. Do I think they can do that and not be able to hit threes? No. They will be limited. This is not Indiana. They do not have Reed Bailey guarding or Sam Alexis guarding Malachi or BG or obviously Jayden. They have an elite front court with physicality that we've seen against other teams where we haven't risen to the challenge. And Mo Diabate, obviously. You have to be able to play that way, play the way you want to, but we have to be able to knock down shots because this is the way that the Johnny's team wants to play all the time. You have to be able to hit threes. And then you have to be able to get second chance opportunities because you got to take advantage of them not being a good defensive rebounding team. And then kind of on the flip side, you got to get defensive rebounds so they don't get second chance opportunities. And with that, you got to limit runouts. You got to cut down that 20 points and limit them to 6 to 10 and take around 10 to 12 of their points that they average, which they average around like 80, 87, 89 points. You take that away, you feel really, really good about that and take away one of their best offensive weapons in the run-out game and transition points. So those are my key 4 keys to a win for the Cats. How big is it for us to have JQ back? Yes, I do think that he will match up very, very well against really any big moving forward, especially in this game when this team is so front court loaded. It is such a big thing to have him back now. With us going against some of the best big men in the country. And here's just an analytical thing. Evan Mia says when active, JQ, I'm going to say he is analytically already one of the best defenders in the country. He will help us on defense against Ejiofor. He will. I don't know how much production we will get from him on the offense, but again, as I said in a short earlier, this guy is an elite rim protector. He can guard at the top of the key against bigs. He will be a good passer at the top of the key. He's a lob threat. He can go get a bucket on his own against somebody, and he can shoot the three. He will come in and have immediate impact. On how many times, though, in a game, I don't know. I think it'll be 3 to 4 minute spurts. Take him out. Maybe twice a half we'll get that. Maybe we'll get to about 14 minutes in this game. I'm going to set a prediction here. I think it's 13 minutes in this game. He will play. He will play 13 minutes, but I do think those minutes will be very, very impactful. But for those other minutes, BG or Malachi is going to have to step up and be big in this one. Maybe even put Mo on somebody like Ejiofor because of the height. Maybe we go with that. Okay, my prediction in this one. Give me the Cats in Catlanta. Mark Pope gets a big win before conference play. And the reasons that I like a win for the Cats here, I think it's the crowd in Catlanta. I think it is just the energy around this team right now with JQ being back. Obviously, I think he makes a big impact in this game. And I think guys like Colin Chandler and Denzel Aberdeen, I think they hit their open shots. I think Owe hits his open shots. I think we kind of feed into that physicality. And I think Mark Pope just, genuinely, he really tries to go out there and coach the game of his life against his former coach in Rick Pitino. I think the Cats get it done in Catlanta, 79-72. My MVP, haven't really talked about in this video a lot. I've mentioned him in a big way, but just only one time. Cam Williams. He has, there was a statistical thing that came out and said, most effective players, he is a top effective player. You know his three-point shooting has not been good. It will. I have a prediction. It will in this game. I think he gets hot from three in this game, along with being at an elite size 6'8", can jump out of the gym, elite defender, elite rebounder, and he has a really, really good plus-minus, makes the guys better around him. Give me Cam Williams for this one. Key for this game. I really, really like his matchup on Bryce Hopkins. But that is going to do it for episode 105 here. I appreciate you guys tuning into this one. Hopefully we'll be coming back to a review of Kentucky beating St. John's. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. And as always, go Cats.